This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends, what is going on? It is Thursday, June 23rd. This is Kaplan and Crew, and we're coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. Kaplan and Crew with Grande in the house. Where's he at? He's here somewhere. There he is. Mm-hmm. And the Brown Man. Brown Man's here as well. There he is.
What's cracking?
All right. What's cracking? Yeah. What's good?
Cracking.
What's popping, fam?
Yeah. What is popping, fam? It's a
What's
good question.
What's to you?
So, guys, yesterday we were getting to the end of the show, and we happened to be talking about like TV series that we're watching. Mm-hmm. And I was telling you guys yesterday that I don't have any TV series that I'm watching, and I got caught up in this YouTube thing about these guys in Florida who like trap and kill giant python snakes, you know? And it was Al Long sent me an article earlier today. Some guy caught like an 18-foot snake in the Florida Everglades. We were having this conversation yesterday, and Alex said, "Oh, we lost Scott. We lost him. He got distracted. We lost him."
Mm-hmm.
But what happened
it
was
happens to
I
all
was
of us.
distracted.
Yeah.
Right. What happened was I was distracted because I was seeing headlines pop up that Tony Siragusa, the former great Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl champion defensive tackle, my college teammate and a very close friend. I mean, when I'm in college, I don't mean to suggest that last week we were hanging out having dinner. I'm just telling you that in my college years, Tony Siragusa was a big brother to me, like Burt Grossman was, but even closer, really, with Goose. And when the story came yesterday that he died at 55 years old, it took like hours before we knew if it was real or not real. And my phone was going crazy yesterday. The first guy that calls me, a guy named Billy Davis. Alex, you've met Billy Davis before, right? Yeah. Billy Davis was a wide receiver at Pitt. He was an undrafted free agent for the Dallas Cowboys. He won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. He went on to play with the Ravens, and he won a second Super Bowl with the Ravens and played with Goose. So he calls me yesterday. He's like, "Come on, is this true? Is this real?" We hung up the phone. I promise you, I'm kid you not. I hang up the phone with Billy. My phone rings. It's Louis Riddick from ESPN. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Yo, are you hearing this?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I don't know if it's true. Do you know if it's true?" I don't know if it's true. I'm texting with the sports information director at Pitt. "Hey, do you know anything about this? Is it true?" "We don't know yet." And then as we're talking, Louis Riddick and I, TMZ comes out with a report that confirms that Tony Siragusa died. I'm going to tell you, man, I was, and all the while, I should tell you, I'm texting back and forth with Burt Grossman, texting with Burt. Is it real? Is it not real? And Burt and I were both texting Goose, hoping to receive a reply that this was all just some farce for some reason. Oh man, I'm telling you, dude, it was a heavy ass afternoon yesterday, dude. And I'll tell you this, like my first thought was, God, Goose, a big guy. I don't know. They haven't released yet information on what he died of, but they say he died in his sleep. This guy was 6'3", 350 pounds from the time he was probably 21 years old to the time he was 55 years old. That's a big guy. That's a lot of weight. I don't know what he died of. But I called buddies of mine yesterday that are like in their 50s and significantly overweight. I'm like, guys, we got to start getting everybody back into shape here. We got to lose 40, 50 pounds. We got to get back on the exercise. We got to start watching what we eat and drink a little bit closer. So I don't know, man, it scared me, but it also like freaked me out because this is the first of my college teammates, not the first person who's died, but like the first person that's died in middle age from what looks like natural causes, I don't know, guys. It was heavy yesterday. That's all I'm saying.
It was when it became like official to me, I immediately like felt bad for Burt because they had such a great relationship, and to have that like news come out of like it's different when someone is sick. It's different when someone's had health issues or they've had something lingering. For it to just show up out of nowhere and for it to be so gray about it. Like, is it real? Is it not real? That's the part about it that really was confusing to kind of break through all that. And when it became very real, I I was very sad, man, because I just reminded of the interview that we did with him, and I watched it all over again, and he just seemed like a real, like a great locker room teammate guy to be around, because he was super funny and he had a ton of stories.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. And Alex, you sent me a few texts yesterday late afternoon, like, yo, man, how you doing? You doing okay? You getting it's just a shocking thing. You got to understand. Listen, when I'm in college, I'm like a 19-year-old kid. Siragusa's 22-ish, 21-ish, whatever he is. And I looked at him like he was this grown up. Like I didn't look at him and think he's just a 21-year-old guy. I'm just a 19-year-old guy. Like I looked at Siragusa as a real grown up. Everywhere we went, he seemed to have an aura around him. He didn't play for the Steelers. He wasn't a first round draft choice of the Steelers. He's a college player at Pitt. And by the way, he's played as a freshman, didn't play the next 2 years because of injuries, and then finally played in the latter part of his career. But everywhere he went, he had this giant aura about him. He also always had a lot of cash on him. Most of us were broke college kids. So when Goose showed up, Goose would break out a wad of cash, and we didn't know where it came from. We just all thought he was kind of like this Jersey mobster guy who always had access to cash. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if he gave you money, even if you didn't ask him, but he kind of offered it and pushed it on you, once he gave you something, very mob bossy, once he gave you something, he expected something in return.
He owned you.
I think I've told you guys the story. We all went out to a shopping mall one Saturday afternoon. He's Kaplan, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. What's going on, Goose? He's like, coming to pick you up. We're going shopping. I'm like, for what? He's like, clothes. I'm like, I don't need anything, and I don't have any money. And he's like, don't worry, you're with me. So he picks me up. We go out to this shopping mall. We're in this sporting goods store, and I'm looking at this pair of Nike sneakers. And he's like, you like those sneakers? I'm like, yeah, they're cool, man. They're really, get them. I'm like, Goose, I don't have any money. I got you. Buys me these Nikes. I don't know what they were, $60 at the time, $70. You know what I mean?
Was Goose a star at Pitt at the time? Was he like the guy or one of the guys?
He wasn't. Let me say it like this. On the field, he was not. In the locker room, he was.
Okay. He
started as a freshman. When you see these pictures of Bert Grossman and Tony Siragusa together on the field, that's like Bert's junior year and Tony's freshman year or something like that. You know, they're maybe they were classmates. Nonetheless, the point is that they played together. Bert continued his career because he was healthy. Goose got hurt early in his career, hurt his knee. But it always fascinated me because I always felt like the trainers, they took care of you until they didn't think you could play for them anymore. They always took extra good care of Goose under the expectation he was going to come back. Mm-hmm. You know, like they knew how good he was, even though he was hurt and he wasn't playing. He missed 2 years of playing ball in college. Yeah. So one time, so we get done with buying these sneakers, you know, we come back to the dorm room and Goose is like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm like, well, okay, see ya. He unplugs my television. And I had a 17-inch Zenith that my grandfather bought me, you know, big box TV. Yeah. I go, where are you going, Goose? He goes, I'm going home. I said, yeah, but what are you doing? He said, I'm taking this TV. Why? He goes just like this to me. He goes, did I not just buy you a pair of sneakers?
Yeah, but I didn't ask for them.
Yeah, you offered to buy me these sneakers. He goes, well, now this is my TV. And that was the way it worked with him. I mean, one time I'm over at his place one night. Again, I'm looking at him like he's a grown-up. He's a kid like I'm a kid, but I thought he was a grown-up. He made dinner one night. He cooked up this Italian dinner and the gravy and the pasta and the bread, and he cooked all this food, right? And at the end of the dinner, he's like, all right, let's go, clean up. What do you mean clean up? What are you talking about, man? He goes, I cooked, you clean. Let's go, get to work. You know, I mean, God, he's just such a character.
I love that so much. I wish I knew someone like that because it may not be very convenient at the time, but man, it seems like you're never bored around a guy like that, you know? Like it's just like just a good time all the time. And that's the way, I mean, I didn't know Goose, but I think we talked to him a handful of times on the show throughout my time with you, Scott, but I didn't know him at all. But every time he was on and on TV too, that was my favorite part about him. He wasn't an analyst. It was Goose talking about football, you know, the way like Goose talked about football. And I know a lot of people didn't love the way he did it, but I thought like, put him on the field. This is what I'm seeing. Back to you guys, you know, and they started like doing all these things where they gave him like 6 monitors on on the field, and they started like being a little bit more hokey about it towards the end of his tenure at Fox. But I always like that when a dude comes on the TV and he's like, "This is who I am. This is what you signed up for. This is what you get." And I love that.
Yeah. Well, and listen, give it credit to Fox. You know, they gave him a chance to say, hey, you know what? As a defensive lineman, you're in the middle of it all. And this is the way you see the game. So they had him in the end zone rather than on the sideline so that he could see the game the way he saw the game, which I thought was really cool. It is just so hard to believe because the thing is that I'm telling you guys like little stories about what was going on when we were in college together. When we were done with college, Goose was an undrafted free agent by the Indianapolis Colts. Think about that. This guy had a monster NFL career, became rich and famous because of his NFL career, but he was an undrafted free agent defensive lineman.
Yeah, those guys don't really last in the NFL.
Right. When he was in his first couple of years, Indianapolis, not making any money, and he's not a star in any way, but he loved South Florida, and he loved it because he liked to go boating and he liked to go fishing. So he had this boat. I don't know where all the money came from because he never was like a big star in the NFL. This is early in his NFL career. And it's me, my boy Alex, Goose, a couple other of our friends. And we were out every night in Fort Lauderdale. We walked into every nightclub, every strip club, everything we ever wanted to do. We walked in and followed Goose. He's 24, 25. He's 2 years into his NFL career. He doesn't make a lot of money. He's not a famous guy, but yet everywhere we went, we walked in like his entourage. And I'm just telling you, the crazy crap we got into that I cannot even talk about on the air. It's just, listen, again, all of his NFL teammates will talk about him. And you know, they're big stars and they won a Super Bowl together. But we had that time in our lives. That's why Louis Riddick calls yesterday, or Billy Davis calls yesterday, or Bert Grossman and I are on the phone yesterday, because we had that period of time from like 18 to 24, 25, where you're as close as can be. And those relationships, those are the lifelong relationships, you know, and 55 years old to die this young is just unbelievably sad, really terrible.
Brutal,
and you guys know, just real quick, you guys know that last weekend when I was in Pittsburgh, I posted a picture on Facebook because that's where me and my college teammates all communicate. I posted a picture on Facebook of me and my buddies sitting by this lake. Goose chimes in and says, "Yo, can I fish in that lake?" And I wrote back and said, "Not only can you fish in the lake, you can hunt the land," because he liked to hunt, you know. And so here he was commenting on a post 2 days ago. 2 days ago, he's commenting on a post on Facebook, and today, a man is gone.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Life, man.
Life.
Let
me ask you guys a question. I'm going to ask you guys because I got this a lot yesterday. And I'm sure you guys are probably not going to be surprised by this question at all. Now, would you guys welcome Bert back to have a conversation on the air?
That is a cheap way to ask that question, by the way. That is a very cheap way to ask that question.
Well, the reason I ask it is because a lot of people were hitting me up yesterday going, you know, these Goose stories are legendary, and Bert had a lot of them. Browner, you and Bert had a show together before the Browner Lawhead show came together. There was the Browner Bert show.
And he quit like a coward.
And everybody who's watching on television tonight on Channel 4 San Diego, anybody who's watching is like, wait, I don't know about the Browner and Bert show. This is an iteration ago. Browner and Bert had a 1-hour show that they were doing together.
Yes.
Bert was booking like guests of old friends of his, and he was just telling old funny stories, frankly.
Yes.
And Browner was Browner was trying to lead them through these stories. There's a famous story I used to love to hear all about it all the time, where Bert and Goose get into a fight in a bar. And turns out Goose beat up like the wrong guy that night and literally right. And then almost died as a result of the fight.
Yeah.
Alex, do you have the video of Goose telling Browner and Bert the story of that night and that big brawl and how Goose almost died that night 30 plus years ago?
I think I do.
So my brother, he was about 15, my younger brother. He was at the bar buying drinks for everybody. So I was keeping an eye on him. My other brother was probably 22, not even 20, 21. And he was the sanctuary had an entrance on both sides, one on one street, one on the other. And in the middle of the bar, right, was a raised dance floor. So from one side of the bar, you couldn't see to the other side.
Remember, you had to
So
go
my brother-
underneath it. You had to go underneath the dance floor.
To the bathroom. So my brother had a yellow shirt. So a fight breaks out up on the dance floor, and I see a dude in a yellow shirt getting his ass whooped. So I said, "Yo, Bert, let's go." And we went up there. Man, we just started tearing people up. So I had a big mullet, so someone started pulling my hair in the back. So I like turned around and like just smacked the person. I didn't know who it was. Man, and I go and I'm beating up this one guy trying to pull him off my brother, which turned out it wasn't my brother. My brother was on the other side of the bar, and here he comes flying over the rail. So it's the three of us just going at it, and all of a sudden, I feel someone grab my hair and just start ripping it out. I turned around and just punched him. It was a girl.
Oh,
And her brother was there, and her brother was connected with the Pittsburgh boys. And I ran out. We ran out. He ran out the door. Me and Bert chased him. As soon as we opened the door, the guy got a big can of mace and maced us. Then he goes, "Man, today's your unlucky day," and just pulls a gun out. Bert turned around to go get his face washed, and the guy's fucking sitting there.
I ain't turned around. I turned around to run. I seen that gun.
He ran. I didn't want to.
I don't mess with no guns.
Hey, the dude puts a gun in my mouth and goes, "Dude, you're gonna die tonight." So listen, while this happens, all of a sudden this cop that we knew, I forget what he was. It was like the sergeant we used to call him. He had the Rottweiler at the end of the street, lets the Rottweiler go. The Rottweiler comes running up the street, bites the guy's arm, tears him a new ass.
All in a snowstorm. All in the middle of a snowstorm.
Yeah, in a snowstorm. I was like, "What's up?" So they get the guy. They call a paddy wagon, which is right around the corner. They put the guy in the paddy wagon. And I told the cop, I said, "Man, this is what happened." He goes, "You pulled the gun on you in this?" He goes, I go, "Yeah, the gun's right there." He goes, "Holy shit." He goes, let's give him a little justice. He opens the paddy wagon door and sends the dog and it chews him up some more. But the crazy thing.
I remember that dude too. He had a long leather black trench coat on.
Listen.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. The stories and the way he used to tell them. Alex, I know you went back and watched The Sopranos.
I did, yeah. Oh, wasn't he in The Sopranos?
He
He was in
was.
The Sopranos. He
yeah.
was. Because, when I'll never forget, in 2000, the Ravens were playing the Giants in the Super Bowl.
That was 22 years ago, dude.
Right. Wait, listen.
Wow.
To this story. So I drove a car. Listen, I drove a car into Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. On the way to this media day at the Super Bowl 22 years ago, I get a call from a radio consultant. "Hey, Scott, there's this show in San Diego on Extra Sports 690. They've already got Billy Ray Smith, the former Charger. I think you would be the perfect guy to compliment Billy Ray." Mm-hmm. I'm driving into Raymond James Stadium that day for media day. I get a call from a radio consultant about working with Billy Ray at 690. This is, again, back in 2000. I go into the media day, and I literally sat like a fly on the wall watching Tony Siragusa hold court at that media day. And I looked at my friend and I said, "Today, Goose is becoming a star," because he was a good football player on a good team, but now he's in the Super Bowl and he's holding court. And guys, I'm telling you, there was Ray Lewis and there were all these other guys that were really good Ravens players, but Goose had the biggest crowd because he was saying the funniest stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to a friend of mine, I said, "He's becoming a star today." And from that Super Bowl, winning it and being on display all week as the personality and the character of the Ravens defense, it spawned not only his career as a broadcaster on Fox, but also like do-it-yourself shows and like car shows and all kinds of cool stuff. He products, restaurants, businesses. I mean, it really blew up his career, being in the Super Bowl and being the personality.
And honestly, like, you don't see, I know back in the 90s, maybe it was a little bit more, but I feel like Vince Wilfork was like the last guy that looked like Goose to play in the NFL, like the body of Goose was it almost still seems like a rarity. Like, looking back, I can't think of that many dudes that looked like Goose with the belly sticking out from underneath the pads, and his personality. It was all of it combined just led to that. It became Goose, everybody knew him. And the Hard Knocks, I think they were like the first ever Hard Knocks. Yeah. Awesome.
I know it really is sad, man. It really is a hard time, but I'll tell you, I called my friend. I'll just say it on the air. I don't care. I called my buddy Alex Van Pelt yesterday, and I said, "Hey, Alex, listen." And actually, this conversation took place this morning. I said, "Listen, man, I don't know what Goose died of, okay? But I'm just taking a guess here. Big guy, 350 pounds, ate whatever he wanted. It was part of his character. You know what I mean? Is the pasta and the food and being Italian. Ate, drank, whatever. I don't know what he died of necessarily, but it kind of sounds like natural causes. And man, when you're big like that and you're just putting that much stress on your body. So I said to my boy Alex, I'm like, yo, we got to get you going on a diet, on an exercise regimen, and let's set a goal to like lose 50 pounds before the end of the football season. Start now, finish then. You'll lose 50 pounds. Just be committed to it through the season. Only because it just makes you think to yourself, if he's 55 and died of natural causes because he was a big guy, gosh, I got to take better care of myself. You know? I know. It's just unbelievably sad. Really is. I've been doing interviews in Pittsburgh, radio, TV, been talking about him. And Browner, I'm glad we have that video. I'll tell you that. I'm glad we have those stories that you and Bert got from him.
It is a great 42 minutes.
I'll put the link in the description today.
Cool. All right, stick around, everybody. We're just getting rolling. This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
Please welcome in tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again on Main Street Living.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be back.
So, of course, we have more tax questions for you. First of all, what are the types of business entities that business owners can use?
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd ask this question. So this time of year, this is when, business owners probably just got handed a pretty big tax bill. And so naturally, the next question is, how can they save taxes? How can they save on taxes? And so that's where these business entities really, they may come in. So yeah, what we're looking at is corporations or limited liability companies, more commonly called LLCs. So definitely by using either a corporation or an LLC, business owners may be able to really save on taxes. For the most part, when we talk about tax savings, we're looking at like an S Corp election. And so again, an LLC can do that, a corporation can do that. But the net result is you want to save on what's called self-employment tax. So for 2022, a business owner is going to, by default, pay self-employment tax on the first $147,000 of taxable income. So that's 15.3%. By doing an S Corp election, putting yourself on payroll, you can really drive down how much of your income you have to pay that 15.3% at. Beyond the tax savings, it just offers an extra level of protection between the business owner's personal assets, say their home, and their business operation. So, no matter what business you operate, you're going to have some exposure to liability. So an entity like a corporation, like an LLC, it just puts that extra level of protection between the business and then what the owner has on their personal side.
Yeah, well, clearly a plethora of information that you always provide to us, Adam. We appreciate you being on the show. Where can our viewers get in touch with you for more tax help?
Yeah, like always, they can visit my website, triumphovertax.com, or feel free to pick up the phone. You can always give me a call, 619-591-9500.
Main streets are the heart of our communities, where we connect with our neighbors, support local businesses, and share new adventures. Main Street Living celebrates all of this, bringing you uplifting stories with guests from across the country and your community. From our street to your street. Main Street Living, Mondays at 9 on Your View.
Main Street Living celebrates Pride Month in partnership with Subaru of El Cajon, an extraordinary experience for everyone.
Welcome back This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends, what's happening? It's Kaplan and Crew, along with Grande and the Brown Man. We come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Hey, guys, we could talk about the Padres to get started today. Padres and Phillies tonight, starting a series. Padres coming off a sweep of the Arizona Diamondbacks. We can get into that whole thing. Or I can, and listen, there's also storylines, okay? I mean, this Fernando Tatis thing that we've been talking about the last couple of days, swinging down in the under part of Petco Park and it turning into its own sort of mini controversy. There's a story to go there as well. But if I have to be honest with you, before I would want to talk about the Padres today, I think I'd rather start off with the Angels today.
Is that
Browner? Browner, have you been paying attention with what's going on with the Angels all of a sudden?
I saw Ohtani have a good eight innings last night.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I didn't watch it.
Or great.
I didn't watch it. I don't watch teams behind me. They're insignificant to me. They're irrelevant.
When you say you don't watch teams behind you, what do you mean by behind? What does that mean?
The Angels have no relevance in where the Padres are going and what they're doing. So the only team I have even paid attention to are the Dodgers. Everybody else is,
okay. So you
in the dust.
So you look at baseball the way I kind of look at basketball. Like I don't follow the entire NBA. I follow the Lakers and whoever they happen to be playing against.
Right. That's my baseball. That's the extent of my baseball coverage. Maybe some White Sox stuff here and there, depending on until they fire Tony Siragusa.
Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate for you, Brown, because you're missing quite a show here with Ohtani.
Doubt it. Who they beat last night?
Well, they beat the Kansas City Royals last night.
Oh, let me check that record.
Oh, they're terrible.
Go ahead.
Soccer. It's not really a big surprise that the Kansas City Royals are terrible. It's pretty consistent. Yeah, it's pretty consistent.
But just for the record, there are more teams in baseball with losing records than with winning records.
Mm-hmm.
So
again,
the chances of you like the Padres played a terrible team and swept them.
Right.
So
who's shocked by that?
We're gonna give them mad credit as well. Like I just think that in baseball, chances are you're facing a terrible team. That's just the way it is. There are more bad teams in baseball than there are good teams in baseball. So
you should be able to.
What do you always say?
Games.
Beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Right.
Okay. So that's what the Angels are doing. The Angels are beating
the
Royals. They're beating a team they're supposed to beat. But let me show you this, Browner.
Do you know exactly everybody's numbers against who they did it, or do you just look at it as a whole as a whole spectrum? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I get your argument. That's your talking point, and I respect it because you found one and it works for you. I like it. But as when I watch baseball and I look at a stat line, like tomorrow or tonight, when Bryce Harper comes up as a DH and it says 323, 18 home runs, and 40 RBIs, I'm like, damn, that's dope. Do I know how much of that he did against bad teams and versus good teams? No, you don't. Nobody does. So I respect your talking point, and I think it's a really good one because Ohtani excels against bad teams. I like it. It works for you. But at the same time, everybody watches baseball and looks at numbers because it's the most analytically driven sport there is. So when you just look at numbers, it doesn't break it down by versus winning teams, versus 500 teams, versus bad teams.
Well, it is broken down that way if you get deep into the numbers, like a baseball guy
like
6.
Me. Come on now, he's a 6. He's a 6 out of 10.
So,
give him a break.
Yeah, what I will say is this.
How about this? How about if you push mute on your microphone and you clear your throat? I mean, like the rest of us have to sit here and listen to that. You're really going to put us through that rather than just.
It legit sounded like you were gargling some Listerine.
Right.
So hold on, still there.
That's awesome.
Oh my God. I have been on the radio at times when I have no voice at all and I'm still doing this. And why the hell am I on the air? And people are on the other end of the radio going, dude, get off the air, man. We can't even hear you or understand you with Browner. It sounds like he's got like an oyster that he sucked out of an oyster shell, and
Come
it's
on, man.
stuck right here in his throat. You
Come
know?
on, man. So
What's
what
up,
I was trying to say before I was physically interrupted by the mucus is I
It's coming
watch
back.
these stats.
It's
It is coming back. I watch
This
these
is
stats.
your hacksaw moment, dude.
I watch these stats get broken down per MLB.com, where I get most of my stats from, trusted source. And what I will tell you is, overwhelmingly, if you are good as Bryce Harper is, if you are supposed to be as good as Ohtani is supposed to be, if you're supposed to be as good as Trout is supposed to be, the first thing I look at is the wins and losses before I even care about any of your statistical numbers. They made such a big deal about Ohtani hitting 50 home runs last year. They stunk. There's no pressure on these home runs. There's no pressure on these innings pitched. Like, I get the pitching is impressive because you're just, doing your thing. It doesn't matter what your record. You can only do what you can do as a pitcher. But as a hitter, every day you have an opportunity to affect the lineup and affect the game. And so I expect more from a hitter in a wins category, and they just don't deliver. Like, Bryce Harper's been to the World Series. Like, I don't.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. He wasn't on the Nationals when they won.
Oh, that's right. When he went to the Phillies, and then you're right. You're correct. Okay, I was
The way
wrong
you
about
said that with confidence, though, like as
I
if
loved it.
neither of us were going to be able to like stop you and go, no, he actually had already left. I mean, you said that with a lot of confidence, and I can appreciate that.
I like it.
But my whole point is this: I look at wins first before I start looking at someone statistically.
All right, look, I can appreciate what you're saying. Okay, that is why I have said to you for the last 2 years that you should treat Ohtani the same way you treat Tatis. You prop Tatis, even though the Padres were terrible last year, and you beat up on Ohtani while the Angels were simultaneously terrible. Now, your point about wins and losses is I buy it. I totally buy what you're selling. But here's the thing about Ohtani. In baseball, when you're an individual, whether you're the pitcher or the hitter, to be as great as he is on both sides of the ball is incredible. There's a tweet that ESPN Stats and Information sent out last night. Shohei Ohtani is the first major league player with both an 8 RBI game and a 13 strikeout game in a career. 8 RBIs, 13 strikeouts in a career. He did it in the last 2 nights.
But here's my point. If you say that, if you read that, that sounds amazing.
Because it is.
They lost the game he had. They lost the game he had 8 RBIs. So this is my
it's his fault they lost.
This is my biggest.
He did everything
argument.
he could do to carry them, and he couldn't do it all by himself.
This is my biggest argument about baseball in general. It's far too statistic driven. People spend way too much time talking about numbers in baseball as opposed to talking about wins and championships. Like, I'm not a fan of Derek Jeter, but the dude won. He got championships. He got rings. I can respect that. This idea that Ohtani's got all these statistics and he's got all he can pitch, he can hit, he can do all this. It doesn't translate. It hasn't translated into wins. And the reason why I won't give Tatis the same treatment, regardless of what you think of the bubble season, got to the playoffs. Last season, he was spectacular. While missing a ton of games, the team imploded. Yes, it did. But going on the 3rd year, he hasn't played yet, but the team's tied for first place. And by the time he comes back, his team will be in contention with an opportunity to prove himself on a much larger stage.
But not because of him.
That Ohtani's not going to see this year.
But not because of him. So
we don't know that yet.
The reverse
we don't
argument.
know that yet.
Right.
No, we don't know that yet. Because Tatis may come back and have a monster second half and be the reason that they win the division.
But I'm saying, when you say he's going to come back on a team that's in contention, yeah, but not because of him. So don't give him credit for that. He hasn't played a single game. You can't give him credit for his team doing well.
I didn't give him credit.
In other words, Tatis. Listen, Tatis is not carrying the Padres right now, is he?
I didn't say he was.
No, I'm just saying though he's not though, right?
Of course not.
Right. Ohtani.
By the way, this isn't Tatis. Tatis played in 2019, and the Padres were awful that year too, and he missed half the season his rookie year.
Injury. Yeah.
Right. And that's, how is that not more important than, like, Ohtani plays 162 games and there's no credit. And Tatis, you give him all this credit and he's never available.
Again.
When
Tatis played bubble season, playoff team. Tatis played last year.
I mean, Will Myers was an MVP candidate in the bubble season, so
I have a quick
you can
question.
just erase that season.
Just a quick question
from
about
our
the bubble
memories.
season. Just a quick question about the bubble season.
Mhm.
Do you feel like the Dodgers World Championship, the bubble season, is legit, or do you think that's like? Do you criticize it like that was just a 60-game bubble season?
Listen, I treat all bubble seasons the same. Fake titles.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
me
then
too.
why are you giving credit to the Padres for being in the postseason in the bubble season?
Because it helps my argument.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I understand.
Yeah,
I mean,
it,
it seems
helps,
pretty
it does
simple.
help your
Yeah.
argument. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It seems pretty
That makes a lot of
I
sense.
mean, I just think
Pretty
like,
straightforward.
I mean, we got, you know, what's funny? There's another show in town that says the same thing, but that just came out. But we get caught up in Browner's arguments. But the reality is that even like the most legendary baseball player of all time, whether you
Barry Bonds.
is Babe Ruth, right? Like he is as far as like legends go, it's Babe Ruth. There's nothing like tainting his legacy.
Yes, it is.
What is it?
Absolutely, it is. He didn't play against black players. He didn't play against Caribbean players. He played against all white guys. So yeah, it is. He wasn't the best baseball player ever. He didn't play against the best field. He played against a bunch of white dudes.
White
Like
guys
Bill
aren't
Russell.
good baseball players.
Excuse me?
White guys aren't good baseball players.
If you pool everybody together, we would have found out. At that time, they didn't, so we don't know.
Well, but that's just the way it was back then. I can't make, I can't apologize for what happened back then. But
I also
Alex,
can't give him credit.
Well, come on. But Alex, your point about Babe Ruth is what? You said he's the most legendary name in baseball. Like historical.
I think it
baseball name.
sucks. I just think it sucks for our audience that we have to diminish, or someone tries to diminish what Ohtani's doing every time we talk about Ohtani, when the rest of the baseball fandom gets to enjoy what Ohtani's doing because it's never been done before. Like,
well, take a look at last night.
I'm not telling you what to celebrate. You celebrate what you want.
No,
I'm
saying
telling you, it don't.
I'm saying
equate
every time he comes on here and does something that no one's ever seen, it's like, how's someone gonna poo-poo it? You're just a Debbie Downer.
I want winners. I want winners. I want winners. The statistics mean nothing to me. They mean nothing if you don't put wins with them. You're just a dude.
Okay. I always just remind you of this though. And I'm gonna transition into this next guy, but I just always remind you of this. Fernando Tatis Jr. hadn't won jack squat yet in his career. And he gets hyped with all this love. And you say win, win, win. That's all that counts. He hasn't won anything yet. And yet
he will before Ohtani.
Well, the Padres are a better baseball organization right now than the Angels.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you a question. If Ohtani leaves the Angels and comes to the Padres, would you still call him Ophony?
If his statistics lead to us winning, no. If for the Angels, if his statistics lead to winning, then obviously not, because he's proven it. He's proven.
So last night his stats led to a win, and you still give him no credit because it was against the Royals. But he was the reason why they won that game. His statistics led to a win yesterday. Just yesterday.
The name ain't changing until, again, I told y'all I need playoff success. I need titles for somebody who y'all keep telling me he's the best player in the game ever. Okay. They're touting
best player in the game today. Best player in the game today.
They're touting him as the best player in the game, and his team sucks. They don't win. So how great is he? That's my question. If you're going to tell me statistically, he's got all these numbers, and yet they still don't win.
Let me ask you a question.
Fernando Tatis' career record is 135 and 138. He has a losing record. Just wanted to put that out there.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Was LeBron James this year, this past NBA season, was LeBron James really, really good?
Yes.
Lakers didn't win.
LeBron has a track record of proven wins.
But this past season, he had a spectacular year, and the team didn't win.
Was Justin Jefferson one of the best, if not the top 3 receiver in the NFL last year?
Statistically, I think so, yeah.
And the Vikings had a losing record.
I'm just saying that putting everything on one player seems a little much.
Right, they're not playing tennis, bro. They're not playing golf. Like, there's a team sport.
So,
but here's the thing, though. The electricity, though. Here's the thing about Ohtani. We all kind of look at Anaheim and their fan base, and I don't think people think that there's like this passionate, crazed fan base for the Angels, and there may be. But when you see Ohtani on the mound and he's got this performance going like he had last night, and he's getting ready to end the 8th inning and 13 strikeouts, there is a buzz and an electricity in the ballpark that you can feel just watching on TV, or even just a highlight. Here, watch this and listen to this. This is Ohtani last night wrapping up the 8th inning.
Believe it, 0-2 coming. It is in there! A career-high 13 strikeouts for Shohei Ohtani.
You're going to empty seats.
That's what Ohtani does for you right there, though. Because, I mean, a crowd going crazy. If they don't have Ohtani, where are the Angels? I mean, you call them irrelevant now?
In the same place they're in now.
Nah,
Losers.
man. Nah. Well, yes, losers, yes. But are they – do they have a record that's even resembling something close to 500 without this guy?
I get what you're saying, because as great as Mike Trout has been, I mean, the Angel Stadium, he's never done what Ohtani's done for that fan base, as far as electricity, as far as excitement, as far as like, oh, Ohtani's pitching tonight, I got to go.
Yeah.
I got to go watch him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's great. Trout makes a couple of nice catches in the outfield and hits a bunch of home runs, but there's not an electricity in the air for Mike Trout playing outfield and being in the batter's box as there is for Ohtani, because he's such a unicorn of an unusual player. So I don't know, Browner. I feel like to have one night where you drive in 8 runs and a second night where you have 13 strikeouts, you lost the game, but you did everything you could to try and lead your team to victory. And your teammates, of course, didn't help quite as much. But to have one night drive in 8 runs and the next night have 13 strikeouts, I don't know, man. That to me is a guy that deserves a ton of hype, not a ton of hate.
This is the only player who is supposed to be so great that nobody comes down on because they don't win. If this happened with LeBron, you come down on him. If this happened with Tom Brady, you'd come down on him. If this happened with Patrick Mahomes, you'd come down on him. For whatever reason, people really don't want to come down on this kid because he doesn't win, but he's supposed to be great.
You want to know why? Because it's baseball.
And no one cares.
No, it's not about no one cares.
It's very regional.
It's about everybody understands one guy can make an impact, but can't win a baseball game consistently by himself. You know, people say, baseball is a great individual sport. Everybody's on their own. It's you in the batter's box. It's this guy pitching. Everybody's on their own. It is an individual team sport, but it requires everybody to perform. That's why
everybody that was all 3 National League MVP finalists last year. All 3 of them missed the playoffs. All 3 of them. Harper, Soto, Tatis. All of them are on crappy teams. I almost said the S word. Like, it's baseball, man. You have individual superstars on a team where they don't control half the game. Like, as a DH, Bryce Harper's as a DH this year. Like, he doesn't control even defense anymore. And he's still considered one of the best players in the league. It's baseball. Your argument is just, I get it. You got to find something. Because Ohtani's not giving you much room to find anything else. That's all.
Is Mookie Betts great?
Mookie Betts was on one of the Red Sox worst team in the last decade, and that's why they traded him.
Is he? I didn't ask you that. Is he great?
Yeah, he's a great player.
He's pretty good.
Did they win because of him?
Who, the Red Sox? No.
The Dodgers.
Did the Dodgers win because of Mookie Betts?
Yes.
I actually remember Cody Bellinger was the reason why they won that one.
So are you telling me the Dodgers did not win because of Mookie Betts? That's what you're telling me.
He helped.
Yeah, I would say he didn't lead them and carry them.
Who did?
The year that they won the Bubble World Series?
Since Mookie Betts got to the Dodgers, who's been their best player?
Well, I guess, let's see. You've had Mookie Betts has been great at times, but he's been hurt a lot. Justin Turner has been kind of like your most consistent guy over at third base.
So he's better than Mookie Betts, is what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying he's better. I'm not saying he's better. You're saying that I'm trying, and hold on, because I want to do a spot before we hit the break. But what is your point, though, about Mookie Betts?
My point is Mookie Betts is great. Therefore, Mookie Betts' numbers translate to wins. Therefore, I can respect his talent and his statistics.
Corey Seager was the World Series MVP. Corey Seager had the best postseason.
All right, hold that thought, though, Browner, because you're saying now, you're making it sound as if Mookie Betts carried the Dodgers to a world championship. And actually, I can tell you that that's not the case. He's part of the puzzle. Ohtani's kind of on his own. So we'll get back into it here in 1 second. But listen, before we hit this break, I do want to tell everybody, Mazda of Escondido, they need your used cars, and they are paying top dollar for your used cars. Now, many of you guys have a used car, and you don't even realize that this has become an appreciating asset rather than a depreciating asset. We always were taught that when you drive a car off the lot, the value immediately goes down. Well, the used car industry has gone crazy, probably because of supply chain issues and dealers can't get new cars. Mazda of Escondido wants, dare I say, needs your used cars. So whatever it is you're driving around, if you want to trade it in, upgrade, get something new, fantastic. We'd love to have you at Mazda of Escondido. But if you just want to sell your used car, come see Alan. Alan is the general manager at Mazda of Escondido. If you're trying to unload a used car, if all of a sudden you realize, I owe this, but it's worth this, I want to keep that money, come sell your car. We need your used cars at Mazda of Escondido, MazdaofEscondido.com. We'll get back to this debate. Plus, Fernando Tatis being questioned about swinging. We'll talk about that coming up. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios on Kaplan and Crew.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
You're listening to the 50,000-watt Powerhouse, bringing you the new generation of radio up and down all of California with a little bit of attitude. This is SoCal Sports Talk, the all-new and mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio. It's the Q5 sale. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, June 24th, 25th, and 26th. We have Audi Q5s in stock. Other dealers are out of vehicle, not Audi Escondido. Come get one this weekend. The Q5 sale at Audi Escondido in the Escondido Auto Park off the 15 and 78.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? Well, relax. The Carefree Dental Card is now available in your area. Call the number on your screen and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree Dental Card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. The Carefree Dental Card is just $15.95 a month. So call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-971-6339 to receive your Carefree Dental Kit.
Attention! Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? If so, you may qualify for the IRS Fresh Start program, so you won't have to make any payments to the IRS. That's right. If you qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program, you won't make any IRS payments once you are accepted. Once you are in the IRS Fresh Start program, they must stop all harassing and threatening collection activities. Call Tax Relief today now at 800-398-9411 to see if you qualify. Again, 800-398-9411.
Does shopping for bladder control products have you feeling like you need someone to be on the lookout for you? Now you have your privacy back. We're HDIS, and we home deliver bladder control products directly to you. We're always on the lookout for you. You get free shipping in plain, unmarked boxes. So your private matters, stay private. We understand how you feel. For over 35 years, we've delivered bladder control products to millions of Americans, just like you. You don't have to worry about incontinence any longer. Call now for your free product sample pack and over $45 in money-saving coupons. At HDIS, we're always in stock. We carry all brands in hundreds of styles and sizes. You'll be sure to get what you need, guaranteed.
For your free sample pack with your free catalog and $45 in money-saving coupons and free product samples, call 800-467-7608. That's 800-467-7608.
How do you go from this to this with zero work? Easy. Introducing Tovala. We deliver real, fresh ingredients. You do a few seconds of prep. Then the Tovala Smart Oven steams, bakes, and broils everything to perfection. No groceries, no dishes, no hard stuff. So when you hear this, you know dinner just cooked itself. Tovala. Try it risk-free for 100 days at Tovala.com.
It's the Q5 sale. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, June 24th, 25th, and 26th. We have Audi Q5s in stock. Other dealers are out of vehicles, not Audi Escondido. Come get one this weekend. The Q5 sale at Audi Escondido in the Escondido Auto Park off the 15 and 78. Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
Let's go ahead and take a look at your San Diego Padres baseball updates. On Wednesday, the Padres got the sweep of the Diamondbacks. Tuesday night's game finished with a walk-off by Jorge Alfaro, and Wednesday afternoon, the Friars put up 10 runs on the D-backs to complete the sweep. Fernando Tatis Jr. got back to swinging a bat on Wednesday. Tatis isn't cleared to participate fully in batting practice, but the team said he's performing what they called a systems check to see where Tatis' wrist has been progressing. Manager Bob Melvin returned to the dugout on Wednesday as well after clearing COVID protocols. Tonight, the Padres take on the Phillies at Petco with Joe Musgrove on the mound. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox Your View? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox Your View.
Oh, shit. It's actually 6 minutes.
Okay, here we go. Hey, great friends. Those of you who are watching on Cox, on Channel 4 San Diego, Channel 4 Santa Barbara, or anywhere in Southern California on the Cox Your View network, we had been promoting for a long time Egg Fest down in Chula Vista. And on the weekend of, let's see, it was June 12th, Sunday, June 12th, that's when the event went down. So Grande, Brown Man, let's show all of the Cox viewers what they missed. Did you guys have fun? This was a great event. I loved it.
More importantly, there was lots of food, lots and lots and lots of food.
Yeah. There were also a lot of listeners that came down.
A lot of listeners, yeah.
A lot of listeners who live in the South Bay area that were like, hey, I knew you guys were going to be nearby, so I came over. And by the way, here's the one thing that's interesting. Not only were there a lot of listeners, a lot of female listeners, which I thought was super cool. And what I hear from the ladies is, I love it when you guys talk sports, but I really love it even more when you guys aren't talking sports.
Yeah, it's when you bring, this much sex appeal to a show, you get a different audience, Scott,
Facts.
I know.
Facts.
Sexy.
I mean, look at these three mugs,
Totally.
That saying face for radio doesn't apply here.
Hey, there was one lady that showed up, 62 years old, white woman. All she wanted to do was talk about how Browner's her boyfriend. And I'm like, see, Brown? I'm like, this is your demo, man.
That's right.
Alex, show us, what are we going to take a look at? So this is exclusive for Cox. I mean, we'll talk about this on air, but this is stuff you're only going to see here on Cox Channel 4 in Your View. What are we going to look at here first, Alex?
What do you want to look at first? You have Browner being a drone videographer. You have pictures of food. You have we talked to Brian after.
All right, let's do this. Let's start off with food, because that's what Egg Fest was really all about. It was all about the food, right? So what are you going to show us here? Let's take a look.
This stole the show, right? I mean, you gotta.
Right. Yeah. Pig on the big green egg, which, to me doesn't look great, but it was pretty damn good. No, it doesn't look good.
Oh, it looks, when I walked in, that was the first thing I saw. I walked in to the left. This guy had that big green egg wide open. I was like, well, I know where I'm camping. This is where I'm going right here.
I couldn't eat it, man. It was too much. It was too close to looking like a real pig, man.
Well, it was a real pig.
It was a real pig.
I like to eat my food anonymously. I don't like it. I don't like to look at it and then put it in my mouth. I couldn't do that.
When I get a burger, it's just a burger.
Right.
I need to see the
It's
cow
not a
that
cow,
it came from.
bro.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't eat it, man.
Any
I'm
other
sorry,
Any other food shots that we should take a look at? Because you like the pig. We didn't really love the pig.
Did you guys end up trying the bacon wrapped Oreo?
I did not try the bacon wrapped Oreo, but I think on the right side here, there's a bacon wrapped piece of chicken. Is that what that is?
No, it was a pork belly.
Oh, that's the pork belly. Oh, and what's that little sandwich you got going there?
Pulled pork sandwich.
Dude, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
That looks really good.
You know what's funny is that this whole time you just keep going from tent to tent to tent to tent, eating. I didn't take any pictures at all. Like the only reason I took a picture of the bacon wrapped Oreo was because I was going to text it to my lady. I was like, dude, they got bacon wrapped Oreos here.
You said they were pretty bomb though.
Okay, so it's really like it was confusing. It really was confusing. You take a bite and your mouth is like, what are you doing? Like what are you doing right now? And then the more you eat it, you're like, yeah, this is actually fantastic.
How about
bacon wrapped Oreo?
How about any pictures? Any pictures you got, Alex, of us with lots of listeners that were down? Because that was fun. That to me was a lot of fun. Hanging out with great friends. Oh, look at this crew right here. This is a great crew. Fat Tony's in the house. Tommy. This couple right here, they're wonderful. I love these two to my left. And then my friend Suzanne is on the far left. But this is a really wonderful couple around drinking beers, supporting. That was great. Anybody else? Oh, this lady right here. She works for the county of San Diego. What a sweetheart she is. She gave me her phone number. I went to text her to give her my phone number, and she gave me a landline. So I maybe I put the wrong phone number in. I don't know. Who else?
Girlfriend?
Oh, Browner's girlfriend. This woman. She's like, I love
boo?
Browner.
What's up, boo?
That's your girl, huh, Brown?
Yeah, that's my girl right there. Shout out.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. She gave me her Instagram.
Her husband
handle.
understand.
Her husband was like, I get it. That's Cheryl Delaney, by the way. Cheryl
Her husband
Delaney
was like, take her.
Hey, Alex, show us the video. I know I talked to Brian a little bit. He was super excited about how the day went down. Show us that video if you could. Let's take a look.
Yo, so we promoted Eggfest for a long time. And today, Brian Bushfield, what do you think?
Huge success. Big. Look at it. We got 20 chefs, 40 eggs.
20 chefs, 40 eggs. We're walking in circles.
Tailing off. We would have been here an hour ago. We couldn't have done this video. There were so many people. Beer garden, huge success.
Yeah, and we did so much of the promotion besides radio was exclusive on Cox. So for everybody that's watching on Cox, dude, way to come out and support. Nice.
Right. And I mean, if you're thinking about advertising, Scott, Kaplan and crew, Cox Cable, way to go.
Thank you for that. All right, hey, instant.
Unsolicited. There you go. Thank you, Brian.
Unsolicited.
God, I'm fat. I got to lose weight. I need to lose.
Come
15
on, man. That's
pounds.
what you saw.
Dude, I got to lose 15 to 20 pounds. Hey, look, bottom line is this. To all the Cox Your View viewers out there, we really appreciate your support. And we'll keep on doing this where there's just Cox exclusive content.
We are very proud to announce that the Mightier 1090 is SoCal's newest ESPN affiliate. Introducing the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. One of the largest radio stations in North America just got bigger and better. Joining forces with the worldwide leader of sports, ESPN. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Have a short-term rental or a standard rental that's just a hassle? Call Harlan Property Management. Let Harlan save you time and money. New San Diego laws are significantly reducing short-term rentals. Let Harlan help you convert your short-term rental into a long-term moneymaker. Go online and see that Harlan's 5-star Google reviews say it all. Right now, log on to harlanpropertymanagement.com and get 3 months of services free when you mention this ad. Call or click today. harlanpropertymanagement.com.
Cox presents Checking In with Advanced Security. When you download the Panoramic Wi-Fi app and enable advanced security, your network is instantly protected. Just like you check on your plant babies, it proactively checks on your network and blocks threats to devices. It even notifies you in real time if action is needed. It's that simple. We'll watch for big threats online, so you can watch out for small ones at home. Easy, Joan. Download the Cox Panoramic Wi-Fi app and activate advanced security today.
We're Tovala, and we're not like other meal kits. We don't just deliver real, fresh food. Our smart oven does the cooking for you. Just scan the barcode and relax until dinner is ready. Tovala. Get started at Tovala.com.
Your family has Cox Home Life, so you could see what's outside. But you're not thinking about that. You're thinking, it's not that scary. You're thinking how nice it is that your sister finally says you're big enough to watch this movie with her. You're not thinking about what's outside.
Cox Home Life, show driveway camera.
Well, maybe just a little. Stay close to the moments that matter. Cox Home Life will help take care of the rest.
Play.
Control your cameras and more with your Contour TV and Cox Home Life.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.